In this video, we're going to learn about our last graph for Unit 1, and that graph is called a box plot. Box plots are graphs used for quantitative data where the median and the IQR, interquartile range, are used as the measures of center and spread. In other words, box plots are graphs that are commonly used when we're looking at data that is skewed or that has noticeable outliers in it. If our data is symmetric and it doesn't have outliers, we're typically using the mean and the standard deviation. Those are a statistician's default. And in those cases, we would make a histogram. For cases where we're using the median or the IQR, or for when we're out in the field and we need a quick graph, box plots are a great choice. Box plots are based on what's called a 5-number summary. 5 summary statistics from the data set. We need the minimum. We need the first quartile. We need the median, which we know is also known as the second quartile. We need the third quartile. And we need the maximum. And if you have an exceptionally good memory, you may remember in a previous video when we were doing those 1var stats calculations on a TI-84, these 5 values were the very last 5 values that were our output for 1var stats. So if you use the TI-84 to do calculations for your summary statistic, you should already have the 5-number summary on your calculator. We're going to go ahead and build a box plot for the data below. This data is the same list that we had for our last data set. So I'm going to scroll back up to the notes from our last video. We calculated our quartiles for that data set as 6, 8, and 11. So I'm going to bring those down. So we know we have 6, we have 8, we have 11, and then I need 2 more values. I need my min and I need my max. And this data set's sorted, so that's easy to pick off. My min is 3 and my max is 20. To make a box plot, the very first thing I'm going to do is build a number line that goes from 3 all the way out to 20. Unfortunately for technology, even though I can't draw a straight line, the iPad corrects. Yay! And I'm going to put my scale on here. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yay, I can count. I'm going to go ahead and label those. If this data had a unit attached to it, quiz score, shoe sizes, minutes spent in the bathtub, I don't know. If there were units attached to it, I would write what those units or variable labels are right here. Since this data is unlabeled, I don't need to worry about that. What I'm next going to do is make vertical lines above each of the numbers in my 5-number summary. So I should have a vertical line above 3, a vertical line above 6, a vertical line above 8, above 11, and above 20. And I am, in a different color, going to label them just so we can identify them. Min, Q1, Q2, Q3, and max. And I'm doing that because our very last step is to connect the quartiles to make a box. So from Q1 over to Q3, I'm going to draw 2 horizontal lines to form a box. The very last step is from the quartiles to the edges, I'm going to draw whiskers from the center out. You'll sometimes hear these graphs called box and whisker plots because I see a box and I see whiskers in either direction. Sometimes I think of cat faces because I see the little cat cheeks and then the whiskers coming off in either direction. Box plots are a really great way to get a feel for the shape of the data. I know that 25% of my data sits in each of those chunks. It's an equal count because that's what my quartiles do, divides it into 4 equal count chunks. And what I see from this particular example is that my first 3 chunks are about the same size. They're 2 to 3 boxes each, 3 boxes, 2 boxes, 3 boxes. My last quarter of the data is long. It's really spread out all the way from 11 to 20. That's a gap of 9. That's 3 times the gaps in my other sections. When I see something like that, I start to worry about the maximum value and whether that's something called an outlier, which we're going to talk about in another video this week. So box plots give us important information about shape and about where we might see potential extreme values or outliers. If you have any questions on how to find your 5-number summary or build these box plots, feel free to send me an email or drop by office hours. Otherwise, I'll see you in our next video.